feels right. Good morning, good noon, and good night, and welcome to a early morning edition of the Upland Action News. My name is LEFTHOUSE, and I am joined by my co-hostesses and co-mostesses, my brother, Emmett E. Left. How are you this morning?
I can't lie, brother. Feeling like we're two little schoolboys waiting for summer vacation here. Very excited to have a special edition here, early morning edition.
That's right.
And be graced by the presence of the man himself, the Hexologist, is in the house.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hexologist. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh, great, man. It's like my brother said, it's a huge honor and pleasure to have you here. And we have a lot to discuss here. So for our audience, for the people that don't know who you are, will you mind giving them a little backstory and how you got into the space and how you became the Hexologist?
Yeah, so I've been in the space since late 2016. Got in Bitcoin when it was about $900. Rode it all the way up to 20,000. Rode it all the way down to 3,000, and been pretty much in the crypto sphere every single day since then. Watched the Tone Vase videos of TA, and then realized. Tone Vase is the Tone Vase, maximalist. If you don't,
he's like a
if you
Trumper
don't like
too.
Bitcoin,
apparently, I think he's which my brother, older brother.
He likes his thing. He likes his Bitcoin, and if you don't like Bitcoin, everything else is a scam to the guy.
Oh yeah.
Realized, started watching Richard Hart. I can't remember the exact video that I watched Richard Hart, but the one that really helped me a lot was when the Bitcoin Cash fork came out, and found out Richard Hart because he did a whole video on how to claim your Bitcoin Cash on a VM. So if they wanted to steal your keys, they wouldn't steal your keys. He made a whole video about it. That was in 2017 or whenever the Bitcoin Cash was coming out. So started watching him then. Been with him ever since. About a year before the Hex launch, so 2018. Called Bitcoin Hex for a while. Tried to start making memes and stuff for it because it was supposed to be released in 4 weeks, and there was a referral system, so I thought I could start making stuff like that. Maybe make some videos after that. It took me about a year, or it took Hex about a year to start releasing. So that was my meme. I had a lot of memes about 4 weeks. 4 weeks until launch. And it was a year pretty much until it came out. Been streaming every single day since its launch, 541 straight days, I think. And now after about a 1200x on the Hex price, so 1200x. It's been a crazy year and a half, I guess. 540 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah,
that's dedication there every day.
Yeah, every day. My daughter was born. You can probably hear her crying. She's with her mom, so don't think I'm just leaving the baby in the other room. But she's she was born. I still stream that day, even with the wife giving me the look like.
Congrats, man! Is that your first?
No, that's my second.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah. But
so,
now we're here.
So you mentioned getting into the space and watching all the different podcasters and stuff, and then you find Richard Hart. And I remember having a very similar experience. Like finding Richard Hart for me was like kind of like gold because you know I have like a little bit of punk rock background roots or whatever. And when I saw him, I was like, this guy's so punk rock. Like he's like one of the only, like he's so funny and like so honest
Right.
and so raw and so intimidating. Like I mean, like 'cause
Right.
in the sense that you know he'll take anybody's head off
Oh, yeah.
in a debate. You know, first time you met him or chatted with him, were you scared crapless or like were you like was that intense
Oh
or what was
yeah.
that like?
I mean, well, for like I would message him, and so actually, my first interaction with him was in 2018. I can't remember. It was August 7th, I think, 2018, a year and something, when he was talking about Bitcoin Hex. And I messaged him on Twitter. I said, "When is Bitcoin Hex coming out?" And I got an immediate block.
Oh man.
So I had to like, gain some trust back in. I had to go to the Hex Telegram channel and like talk with him. And I was like, "Hey, can you unban me from Twitter?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, he does. Like." And now I know where he's coming from, because now if you've been in this space, you just get these trolls where they're just like, like they're just not. There's not very nice people. They're always concerned trolls and stuff like that. So you get a lot of good people too, but
Yeah.
I see where he was coming from. He unbanned me, and we've, I don't really chat with him that often. Like I don't even remember the last time that I actually talked with him. I've had him on my chat, but it is very intimidating to talk to Richard Hart, because you're just like, you feel like a real dummy talking to this guy that's just like a superior being with all the intelligence. He's got that huge brain, and you're just like this pleb that's just like, I don't know anything compared to this guy. He's like you might be better in some places, but he like in your life, like weightlifting or something like that. But the guy knows more about everything than you'll ever. I feel like you'll
Oh
ever.
yeah, absolutely. Super genius, smart dude. And I've wrote to him a couple times, and he seemed to get back pretty friendly. I was writing to him back when he had that project where it was like something about like 3D mapping for medical use or something.
Oh, right. Yeah. I forgot what the CFD token, I think it was that what it was called. Yeah, I can't remember the exact what it was supposed to be. But he said fluid dynamics or something. And he said it was just too hard. He said it was just too hard to do it.
Okay, yeah, I was curious if that was still on the back burner or whatnot, because it seemed like.
I don't think so.
Okay, that one's gone. So Pulse Chain then. So when did that come up? When did that come about?
So Pulse Chain came about when we started looking at the Ethereum gas fees, and I'm sure you guys have seen them, where they are astronomical. They are disgusting, and hexkins are just getting beat up. And I'm sure everybody else on the Ethereum. I only transact in Hex, so but I've seen some of these. You guys said you're with NFTs. I've seen some $10,000, $16,000 transactions that you got to pay for a transaction just to sell it or just to transact on the Ethereum blockchain. And with Hex, it's on staking that's the really big one.
Yeah.
Staking isn't that big. It's $20 or something, but depending on how long you're staked out, I had a day 4 stake that came out just 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it cost me about $1,000.
Wow.
To do, and it was just like, what that $1,000 could be put into Hex. And I think he sees that, where it's like we're throwing money to these guys that are just dumping the Ethereum price anyways. Why are we giving these these dumpers, these people that are dumping the price money? Like why don't we actually benefit Hex and take everybody else that's hurting as well, and help the Ethereum network by offloading a bunch of this congestion that they can't even handle themselves. So why not?
So will you become the Pulseologist then? Or?
Yeah, there's some rumors going around. Pulseologist might be coming. No, I'll probably just keep the Hex. I'm well more versed in Hex. I think Pulse is like a it's just it's not just an Ethereum fork. There's going to be other things that are better about it on Pulse chain, but I love Hex. Like that's my baby right there.
All right, well,
I'll still do Hex or Pulse News for sure.
For sure.
I don't think I'm changing the name.
Well, let's stay on Hex then before we go into Pulse a
Okay.
little bit more. So, since you're staying with Hex, like what's next for Hex, or what's coming for, you know what I mean? Like what do people in Hex have to look forward to, if anything?
Well, the thing about Hex is it's completed, so there's really nothing that can be done for it. It's not really, there's no big pay, like the big payday was complete, that's finished. There's really everybody's just, so there's the sacrifice phase in Pulse. That's what people are looking at right now, is
Right.
the you know, getting some Hex for that. But other than that, it just pays us trustless interest no matter what. And I've been here for 541 days. It's been 100% uptime, and it's never had a hiccup. It's paid me every single day. And it's pretty awesome. I mean, I don't know of one thing that's just been up 100% time with no downtime.
This is all with almost, outside of the Hex community, it seems like almost no love across the board. You know, like it's insane.
Yeah.
You
I've been called a scammer. People, you know, it's just like, but if you look at these people that call you a scammer and you look at their charts, or you look at what they've been talking about, you see where they shilled and where it's at now, everything. And you look at where I've been shilling it and where it's at now, it's the other way around, because it's like, I've been doing this for 500 days. And it's done nothing but going up. And most of these guys, you know, they shill everything. They just shill broad, and that's where they get wrecked. They don't just hone in on one thing that they actually believe in. They believe in everything, and which means they don't.
Yeah, 100%.
I just recently found the episode where Richard was on with BitBoy. And I think it was the first time. They might have had one recording that got batched or something botched, and then I caught the one that they redid. And man, I love that episode so much. It was like my favorite episode I've ever seen.
Was this the newer one where he said he sold the Hex that he got?
No, I need to go back and watch that one, because I saw the first one basically, and I mean, it was awesome to hear how he handled everything they threw at him, because that's basically what it was. They were asking him about the scams, about people not believing in Hex, what the deal was over there. And then, you know, he even says on that episode, he's like, I could fork Ethereum if I wanted to. Like, it was just so timing, you know, for me to go back and catch that episode now with where we're at and be like, man, that was really, really cool to find that one recently.
Yeah, it's you know, it feels like he may have been planning the Pulse chain release, and he knew that the Ethereum. I mean, if you look at it, Bitcoin in the 2017 dump, or 2018 first of whatever, you know, when it went into the bear market, it was because of the high fees and how long it took, right? Like it was hundreds of hours. Some people took 3 or 4 days to transact, to get their Bitcoin, and people were getting upset, and it was costing them hundreds of dollars. And that's what brought about the bear market. Well, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff, but mostly from what it looked like, it was a lot of the fees. And now you see Ethereum doing the same exact thing, and you're just like, well, what's going on here? Like, are fees just going to be this astronomical thing that we're always going to pay for, or maybe, you know, we fix it? Why can't we fix it? And I like how Richard Hart, instead of complaining about it, he actually is like, nah, we're going to go fix it. We're not just going to sit around and wait for the next guy to be like, oh, well, I don't know, maybe somebody will fix it one day. He's just like, no, I'll just fork it, and we'll bring everything over, you know, like every single ERC20 token, all of your guys' NFTs. If you guys have NFTs, they're getting doubled. So it's like, or not doubled, but they're getting a fork over there on Pulse Chain. So it's actually going to be decent to transact over there, instead of these, you know, like I said, $16,000 to make a swap,
to mint an NFT, or
mint an
transfer
NFT,
one.
Transfer a Hex stake, same. That's NFTs too. Wait a minute. Okay, so all the Hex that you have, then you're about to get a Hex P version of that as well too, right?
Yep, P Hex. Yep, Pulse version of Hex. Chainlink, you know, any of these, the ERC20 tokens, there's 2 that aren't, which are, I'm guessing, Richard says that there's 2 that are not going to be copied over, and I'm guessing that they're these copycats that tried to copy Hex and tried to ruin it, but they ultimately failed. If you look at their chart, they look they look disgusting, but they were so malicious at first that it really, it screwed up a bunch of Hexicans that, they sold into this to think that they're going to get something better. I'm going to go with this team. And it ultimately, failed because they don't have Richard Hart or the community or any of the, they try to do their own thing. So I'm guessing that it's those two. He hasn't made exactly telling us what two won't be coming over, but yeah, all the NFTs, all the ERC20 tokens will be copied over to the new Pulse token.
Okay, you say all the ERC20 tokens. We have a question on that because we launched an ERC20 token called Left right before the gas prices have gone super high. We launched it through the Tri-Roll network. I don't know if you're familiar with the Roll tokens at all. Okay. Let's see. Whale is a big token from over there. The Lads have a token that comes from Roll. Blockchain Heroes, a bunch of NFT, whatever. So they're social money tokens. When we have this plan. And then the gas prices went haywire, so we've been sort of like, a little bit like slow going on some of our plans because of the fees and stuff. So are you saying that our Left token, because it's an ERC20, will also have a P, we'll have P Left is what you're saying?
Yeah. Every single one will be over there.
You just blew up my head. That's insane.
Yeah, like the entire system state of Ethereum will be copied over to the Pulse chain.
Wow. Okay. So then now we're on this Pulse chain deal. Like, are we expecting? What is this going to do to the price of ETH, if anything? Do we expect it to push it up or push it down, or?
Well, I mean, it really just depends, right? Like, it depends if they see as a contender. I think that a lot of people are going to want to get into the largest airdrop ever. Like, this will be the largest airdrop ever given out, and so, because there's, thousands of coins and they're getting free coins on another chain for free. And this has never been, and I think Richard Hart, with Richard Hart behind it, there's lots of game theory that's going to be into play. And I mean, like, do you guys know about the sacrifice phase? So you're going to put up some coin and then you're going to get pulse for it. So a lot of people are buying Hex right now to sacrifice for the Pulse chain when it does come out, and there's not it's going to be on a bonding curve, so it really depends on what the price is of Hex at the time of when you sacrificed it. But if you guys knew anything about the adoption amplifier, it's going to be somewhat like that. Or the Ethereum, when Bitcoin and Ethereum came out, they had their it was kind of like the adoption amplifier for Hex, where it was, but it's going to be 30 days. I think is what, nothing's been set in stone right now because we don't have all of the information. But we do know that all of the ERCs and ERC20 tokens and the NFTs will be copied over, and it will relieve some of the congestion that is going to be on Ethereum. Hopefully, maybe, and we're going to get 3-second blocks instead of 13. 13 is what Ethereum has currently. So we're going to get a faster network. There's going to be zero inflation. So it's going to be a deflationary asset. So all of the Pulse that is going to be pretty much launched after the sacrifice phase and when it's first given out, that will be all of the Pulse that will ever be given out. I mean, it seems pretty awesome.
I think somebody told me in the Telegram, in the Pulse Telegram, that ETH does not have a 1-to-1 though. Is that true? Is there a P ETH or no?
So no, there will be, but it will be, so if you hold one, so actually it's going to be like, if you hold one Ethereum, you're going to get one Pulse. But there will be an E Pulse. So there's going to be Pulse on E, or ETH on Pulse, I'm guessing. But so they're going to do a snapshot of the E of Ethereum. So you're going to get 1-to-1 on that. But if you sacrificed your Ethereum, you had one in Ethereum, you'd get 10,000 Pulse. So it's really, you're going to get a small amount if you just hold your Ethereum. So it'd be beneficial to just sacrifice it and get that 10,000 times what you'd have gotten if you just held. And then if those guys don't move it, so if you get this snapshot and you get one Ethereum, or excuse me, one Pulse on the Pulse chain, if you don't move it within 30 days, it'll just be taken away. Like it'll just I don't know, evaporate into the ether, if you will.
Right.
They're making some kind of script where after 30 days, if it hasn't moved, so this prevents people with huge bags in Ethereum that have never moved any of their Ethereum. These huge whales that don't want to transact or whatever. They might just be bots or whatever. Dead people. They're not going to get just this free pulse that just sits there and does nothing. It will just be taken back, and then it won't exist anymore. I think that it won't exist, or maybe it'll go to an address. I'm not exactly sure what will happen to it.
Gotcha. All right. So has Vitalik or anybody from the ETH community come out and had anything to say about this yet, or
no?
Nobody's.
I wonder if it's going to get as much hate as Hex, or if it's going to get some, because it is going to compete with Ethereum, but it's also helping it. So I don't know if it's kind of like an enhancement for Ethereum, because it is its own chain. So it's not a layer 2 like Matic or any of these others, but it is its own chain, level 1 chain. So I don't know if they're gonna hate it, love it. I mean, if anything, it can't get worse than Hex, right? And Hex did. I mean, we've already done a 1200x without staking. I mean, it's almost like 2000x if you would have staked your Hex. So it's done really well. So I mean, the hate has actually helped it out, because nobody, you talk to people now and they're like, well, I didn't get into it when it was 0.00001 because everybody called it a scam. But I like it now that it's 5 cents. I'm gonna buy it now. It's like, okay, well, that's I guess that's how some people, and people still call it a scam. We just went on Mitch Ray, if you guys know who Mitch Ray is.
Oh yeah.
Richard Hart got onto his stream yesterday, and it's very polarizing how some people are saying, oh, he's a scammer, but then there's people that, oh, I love Hex, and so it's like you either hate him or love him, but we're still getting called a scam. And it just shows how much opportunity there is out there still, when, maybe at $1, they are like, oh man, maybe this is actually a decent project or product, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like,
go ahead.
I feel like he puts it well when he says that, a lot of the hate it comes from just the people that have never tried Hex or used Hex,
Exactly.
like the people that are using it, there's not much to hate there.
Yeah,
because of how well it works, how long it's been running, what it's done on the charts. Like,
and you're talking that FOMO
feeling
of I felt that, like, Hex came out, and I think I waited like 3 or 4 months until I got in. I'm like, God damn it, I missed it. Like I sort of had that feeling, and I was like, should I even get into this now? I waited too long. But no, yeah. And do $1? Do you think that that's going to happen for Hex?
I mean, it definitely could. I think that, I think at $1, we are up there with Bitcoin's market cap, but people look at that and say, oh, well, it can't be done. You can't get up to Bitcoin market cap, but they don't realize that market cap is just, it's a vanity metric that people look at, but they don't understand it. They don't understand how it even works. I mean, you can, there's people that can manipulate a coin to make it a Bitcoin. One coin sells for $1 trillion and you're above Bitcoin's market cap right there. That's all you have to do. So it's really like, they just don't understand it. So they say that you can't get there, but it definitely could. I don't know where it's going to happen, but if you look at the chart right now and you hear all of the things that people that do TA, like I'm not a big TA guy, and I'm not, like, I don't trade. I try not to trade, but they are, you guys know Crown's Crypto Cave, and
I watched Crown. He mentioned Hex, and then that blew up there for a second.
Yeah. Well, yesterday he mentioned it. He's just like, this is the best chart in crypto right now. Like, there's nothing else like this. You can't be bearish on this chart, even if you don't like it. This thing is crazy. And Mitch Ray, same thing. Like yesterday, he's just like, if you don't like it, that's one thing, but you can't deny what it says on the chart. This thing looks like it's about to blow up. So I mean, it's if people don't like it, I get it, but you can't, like you said, you can't like you said, you can't deny the chart. And like I said, I don't do TA, but when you see something that's as magical as the Hex chart, you probably should be like, oh, well, okay, sometimes the TA does work out. And
so as far as Pulse goes, there's still a lot of information we're waiting on here. Like you're saying, as far as
Right.
this sacrifice stage goes, that hasn't begun yet. So
it hasn't, but it should be. If you listen to Richard Hart, he says any day.
any day
So,
now.
and this was like a week ago. There's like that we're talking in days, not weeks, right now. So
Yeah.
really, the sacrifice phase could come out right now, you know. And if you think about it, people are going to be sacrificing, and most of the people that know about Pulse are in Hex, so they'll be sacrificing their Hex, which then pulls all of the liquid Hex off of the market, which in turn makes it so people are selling even less Hex. So with less Hex on the market to be sold and more people wanting to get in to buy it, it really is going to, I think that we see a huge run up, more than what we just saw. I mean, we just saw it go from a penny to 5, almost 7 pennies. We stopped at 6.8. And if you look at it, it was supposed to, Pulse Chain was supposed to release that day. You know, he said that, and that's kind of, I think people kind of were like, oh, well, I guess it's not,
Yeah.
I guess it's not happening. But now people are buying it up again, accumulating it. So, yeah, I think that it's a big, we could see a lot of price appreciation here. I mean, we're already number 8, I think. Yeah, number 8 currently. So
God, that's insane.
on the coin market cap,
That's
yeah,
pretty
or on
exciting.
Nomics. Coin market cap, if you guys didn't know, doesn't list us correctly. So
Yeah, and I heard Richard the other day because Coin Market Cap, then there's Coin Gecko, and he was mentioning Nomics as being like the place that he goes to check. So I started checking that out a little bit.
Nomics does a great job. They actually do the market cap, the real market cap. Coin Paprika cut our market cap in half. So I mean, but we're still like number 9 or 10 over there, even with half the market cap, which is hilarious. So like, if you're looking, I would go to nomics.com. That's nomics.com, because it's vastly superior. They're not gonna gatekeep things that they don't like, which is
they're not
disgusting.
owned by Binance or anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, oh, we're neutral, guys. We're neutral, but we're gonna keep these one coins on the 3rd page so you can't see them because we don't trust them. It's like, no.
Yeah.
We just didn't pay them. They want to be paid like $2 million to get listed on exchanges, each exchange, you know, and it's just like, no, who's going to pay that? You know, like, I'm not going to pay that. You know, and this is a community effort. Maybe we could pool up enough money to get on an exchange, but really, what does that do for us? It just makes it so people go, oh, well, they're traded on this. And then, you know, then you get trading bots and more volume to get pushed down on top of you and stuff like that. Uniswap has done great. And if you really are into crypto for what it was meant to do, it was meant to get rid of the middlemen, which is banks and these disgusting crypto exchanges that want your picture and want your, you know, all of your details. It was meant to get rid of those guys. And now we've just, you know, we've done a 180 in crypto, or a 360 in crypto, to all the way back around to where we're just doing exactly what we were doing with the banks. Like, the exchanges are the new banks. And if we really want to get rid of those guys, we have to everybody needs to start using decentralized exchanges like Uniswap or 1inch, or, you know, Matcha.xyz is a pretty good one too.
Yeah. I
And
see they have
so-
some limit order functionality over there on Matcha. Yeah.
And basically, Uniswap and Hex kind of grew together, right? Like, if it wasn't for Hex, there wouldn't really be. Uniswap kind of blew up because of Hex, and maybe a little bit vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, we were we were on one exchange. Well, we were on like 10 exchanges, but one that everybody was transacting on was ByDesk at the time, for the first like 10 days. And Richard tweeted out, hey, there's this thing that's a decentralized exchange. It's called Uniswap, but nobody was using it. It was nobody. Like, I remember using it first time and I was just like, oh, this is pretty cool, you know? But nobody else had been using it. We were the highest volume on there for like months, because we were the only ones using it, and it was like a penny to transact. It was just like you could trade back and forth really quick. It was super fast. And then all of a sudden, I mean, if you look at the Ethereum transactions, you can see where V bottomed, and it's right where Hex started using Uniswap. That's where V bottomed for the transactions on the Ethereum chain, because we started using Uniswap. We actually started using Ethereum for what it was meant to be for. It wasn't just these, oh, I'm going to send you a token. You know, it was like, a glorified Bitcoin. We were actually using it for, you know, the time deposit on Hex, or Hex uses it as the time deposit. So we have to stake, we have to use actual logic. You know, we actually use the Ethereum blockchain, unlike most of these things that are just like, oh, you know, that say that they're actually using it when they're just like doing some shady stuff on the back or whatever. Oh, we swear we got your tokens locked, or then they got admin keys, and that's just all the you guys probably know. You guys been around for a while. Have seen all of the rug pulls and
Oh yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's very cool. So what just with Hexo, there it seems like there's like a lot of fan-based made sites and stuff like that. There's like a lot of like things I keep stumbling into and stuff. Like there's a pretty strong community around it.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah, there's lots, and there used to be more, because like I said, they left for other projects, and then they get wrecked, and then they're just like, oh well, I already cashed out all my Hex. You can see it. I mean, in the big payday, there was a guy that was just dumping. You can see it on the chart. He was just dumping, and it was one of the sites, and he just kept dumping. And he sold all of his Hex that he got from referrals, and took off and went to another coin. The coin has done nothing, and you're just like, well, how was that? How, you know, he because he put his Hex site to this new site, like didn't tell anybody that he was doing it. You just went in there one day and you're just like, okay, why is this the copycat coin site now? And so he did that, and you know, 3 or 4 months later, he put it back to the old site, the Hex site, because he was just like, oh, that was a bad idea. It looks like I'm sure the guys had to buy back higher now, because you know, you really can't stop Hex. The community is so big, the community is so strong.
Are you a Hex maximalist then, would you say, or do you care to hold any?
No, I like polls too.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
No, I'm not a Hex maximalist. I think that the blockchain has use cases, and I don't feel like that they are being used for exactly what it was. You know, like Hex actually has a use that I feel like, okay, I would use this. There's other things like you guys do NFTs. I've never done transacted into NFTs and stuff like that, but you guys do, and you guys feel like that's what you guys like to do, and that's fine with me. I don't care what anybody else does. Like, but for the time deposits and stuff like that, that's what I like to do. Like, I like sitting back and watching my money grow and not worrying about if I get paid today. It's trust this a lot, you know. But there's people that like to trade and do all that, and there's people that do like the yield farming. I don't do yield farming, but there's people that love it, and I'm, you know, everybody. I think it's not like I'm a maximalist, but I like what I like, and I'm just like, but I'm fine with anybody. I'm not the Tone Vase of Hex, where it's just like, no, that's a scam. You're a scammer because you like something. You like it. I mean, Tone Vase calls Ethereum a scam still, so it's just like, bro, something's wrong with this guy's brain, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, you see that a lot with Bitcoin maximalists and any maximalism, that they can't get off this thing that they own, and it's because they own it, right? Like you got the gold maximalists that think that fiat's a scam. You got the fiat and gold maximalists that think Bitcoin's a scam, and it just trickles down. You know, if there are Bitcoin guys that think Ethereum's a scam, and everybody thinks that Hex is a scam, and it's just like, okay, gotcha. We'll just make all these gains, and then, you know, 5 years down the road, when it's, you know, somewhere where I'm dumping my coins onto you because you bought it at $5 instead of this 0.0001 where I was getting it. I'm not a maximalist, but you know, I have a bag of it, so I do protect my bag, and so I'm not going to say I don't have some bias in it for sure.
And are you planning on sacrificing like all of your Hex tokens or a portion of them?
I do have liquid Hex that I'm planning on sacrificing, but you know, most of my Hex is staked for years. So I can't.
Right. What's the longest?
Even if I wanted to.
What's the longest stake you have?
15 years.
15 years.
5,555. Yep, 5,555 days is the. I mean, it's probably less than that now because, you know, maybe 5,400 days. I'm almost there. But yeah, I mean, I've got 15 years, and so that, you know, and that's what keeps the Hex community so strong, is because everybody knows that we're going to be here for 15 years. I'm not going anywhere for 15 years because I've got a bag of it, and I know the next guy, he can't unstake all of his, because if you try to unstake that 15-year stake, it's going to penalize you, and you're probably going to get nuked. Like that stake is just going to get nuked, and then you're just going to be sitting there like, what happened to my stake? It's like, well, it just got given back to all the hex kids, like, because you couldn't hold your stake together, because you couldn't.
Do you have
you
stake?
had to FOMO out.
Do you have stakes set to release for your birthday for like every year or something like that?
No, I didn't do, because I know people watch mine, so I don't want people to know. But I was thinking that, but so I did. I don't do it. I know people watch my bags. That's kind of the thing that sucks, to being like, somebody, like, I'm sure you guys have people that watch your bags, maybe see what they sold, they did this. So you're just like, I tried not to do that at first when I was making most of my stakes. Now people know, because I streamed on my birthday, and I'm like, oh, it's my birthday today. So, like an idiot. So I try to keep up like a good OPSEC, because like, you don't realize it, but one of these days you could be, making $100 million, and you don't realize that now everybody knows what your bags look like, and you're kind of an easy target. So I tried not to do that. I don't know if I did. I can't remember if I did. I've got so many stakes. What I've done is a staking ladder. So I'll, like, a yearly staking ladder, let's say. Once my stakes come out, I harvest the interest off of it, sell the interest, and then stake that at 10 years, 15 years at the end of it. So at about 10 years, I've always got 10-year stakes coming out. And those interest on 10-year stakes are pretty awesome. They're like 200% or more. So, and that's just off of interest. At 200% APY, I think, is what you're getting off of that if you staked 10 years or more. And at 10 years, you're always getting a 10-year stake coming out. You're going to be doing pretty well. So, and that's just with Hex at the price it's at right now. I can't even imagine in 10 years what the price is going to be. Because in a year and a half, it's done something where I was like, oh my gosh, in 5 years, I'm hoping for a penny. And it's like 5.5 pennies, almost 6 pennies. And it's just like, oh my gosh, this is more money than I thought I could ever accumulate off of one coin. So
yeah, unreal. So with Pulse, and you were saying that the sacrifice stage is going to be much like the adoption amplifier. So there'll be like a page on the Pulse chain site where you can go and kind of feed your.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I honestly have no idea if he's going to make it like something where you put it in, or if you just send it to an address or whatever. Because he hasn't. I don't talk to him like that much, because I know
sacrifice your tokens.
I know. Well, it's funny because people call us a cult, and now we're starting to sacrifice. They're like, it's really gonna get into their heads. They're like, these guys are crazy guys. They're sacrificing coins. Yeah. You have to stick a stake in the middle of your coins. You stake your coins. These guys are insane. Yeah. So it does sound scary. I wish there was a better word for it, but I think for tax purposes, I think that they want to use the sacrifice, because if you say you're sacrificing it, you're not planning. Like, there's in Hex, we have this saying, there's no like you're not getting work from others. Like, you're not ever going to get the what is it? I can't remember the saying now. Oh, have no expectations of others.
You don't expect any work from anyone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like you're sacrificing it as like a political belief that you don't like high fees. That's actually the sacrifice. Like, you're sacrificing it to say, I don't like the high fees on Ethereum. This is my political belief on this topic. I'm sacrificing this, and no expectations of work from others. But hopefully, maybe if I sacrifice this, that I get some pulse in return. So the set that it's going to be sacrificed will be the addresses that sacrifice will be given pulse. No expectations, but it's pretty much like with Hex. No expectations of the work from others, but it's going to work most likely. So,
well, we're getting it
is scary.
We're getting some questions from our chat here. Finn Bear has got a question. He says, "How is Hexo so cool, and is he related to the actual Fonzie?"
Hey,
and are you? Yes. Yeah.
Got a jukebox he hits behind him.
But I see, Finn Bear's talking to Morton Matta D. Maybe do a tiny USD amount in Hex, but make it a long one. Yeah, I did that. I did a bunch of like $5 stakes just set for like years to come, though.
Yeah.
And some
Yeah,
of them
those-
are already like hundreds of bucks. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
I'm like, wow,
yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, I have a wallet that I started just for fun on my stream, and it was like most of it was donated to me, and it was like $300, and now it's worth about $22,000, 20
Wow,
something
yeah.
$1,000. And like BitBoy, like Emmett said, is he got donated, he got given $350 of Hex at the low, like when we were first starting. He sold it, BitBoy sold it for $60,000 and never said a word to his viewers or anything about Hex. And it's just like, how disgusting is that this guy just made so much money and didn't say anything to his viewers. He's like, oh, I just don't know enough about it. It's like, well, you knew that it went up. I'm guessing you don't know anything about most of the stuff that you shill.
Made insane gains.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all he had to say was, I made an insane gain. But he won't. He just, oh, I don't know enough.
That's the Boltard mentality that he has. Like,
exactly.
Oh,
so
man,
you've been going daily. You do every day. You haven't missed a day in 500
every day.
Saturday, Sunday, pregnancy day. You're there doing it. Wow, that's crazy.
Your main hub is DLive or
no? So I moved from DLive to Twitch.
Okay.
I'm on twitch.tv/the Hexologist. DLive was we were a big fish in a small pond at that point. Like we were always on the number one. We had like when we did our 24-hour stream, I think we had like 2,300 viewers or 2,500 viewers at one time. We had an average of 1,000, and most people over there have like 80. So it's just like we wanted to kind of branch out, and because on YouTube I got banned, because the Bitcoin maximalists got me banned because they said we were a scammer. So I had a few thousand followers back in the day, and every single day, it just got deleted off at once. I was just streaming in the middle of a stream, it just shut off, and had to start over the next day. I didn't stop a day. I went, the next day we started just streaming on DLive, and we became the big fish in a small pond. And so we decided to move over to Twitch and try to be the small or the small fish in a huge pond, and try to gain traction over there. And it's been working all right. I mean, it's
very cool.
A little bit better.
Well, awesome. Well, what else, if anything, should we say to the people here about Hex or Pulse Chain, if anything? If there's anything that we leave them with, what do you got?
Well, I mean, if you guys don't have FOMO about 1,200X already, that's and plus at the sacrifice phase, like I said, it's going to bring a lot of people that or a lot of Hex off of the market, because people are holding their Hex right now. And I feel like because Richard didn't announce it when he said the sacrifice phase, people are like, oh, I'm just going to trade it for a little bit. And then when the sacrifice phase. So what you're going to see is when the sacrifice phase does get announced, you're going to see extreme FOMO into Hex, because everybody's going to try to buy up that Hex before the sacrifice phase happens. So, and then once that happens, there's going to be less and less Hex to buy, which makes it more rare, which also makes it more expensive, right? There's only about, I think, 150 million Hex right now that can be bought, which is really nothing out of the 600 billion that is printed. There's 600 billion out there, and there's only 150 million that you can buy. And it's like I said, just a few months ago, there was 500 million, 400 million, something like that. Now there's dwindling down, and $1, I think to get to $1, there would only need to be about 17,000 Ethereum to be put in. So about $5 or $6 million, or no, excuse me, $15 million worth of Ethereum would have to be bought, which is nothing if you really think about it. Lots of people have huge bags of this stuff, and so if they know that they're going to get a bag of free Pulse if they sacrifice, if they have this coin, it's any coin, but a lot of people are. If you're watching Richard Hart and you're seeing the price, like there's some probably people are going to buy Hex instead of these other coins. So Pulse, it coming out hopefully soon here in the next few months. The sacrifice phase coming out in the next couple of days / weeks. I'm guessing very soon. Keep up with Richard Hart. So you can go over to t.me/pulsechain.com to keep up with Pulse to keep up with the Pulse chain. Richard Hart, if you go to YouTube, watch Richard Hart. He's going to be the one that probably announces it. Twitter, you can go to twitter. What is it? Just look up Richard Hart on Twitter. And I think it's Richard Hart Win on Twitter.
Yeah.
But watch for the notifications, because like I said, all of the ARC20s, all of the NFTs, everything, and you can do a sacrifice and it's going to be deflationary. So whatever you buy, in that Pulse chain, if you sacrifice,
like, I feel like Hex kind of came out before like the whole like DeFi became like a big like hype craze, like sort of word term or whatever. And so therefore like Hex doesn't really get thrown into that conversation that much, but I feel like in a way it's kind of like one of the first
it is
DeFi systems that's actually functioning and people are using. And
it's the only one that you really think about. Like all these other ones have they're fake DeFi. They have admin keys that they can shut it down. They can manipulate it. Hex is complete. They can't, like, even if Richard Hart was like, stop Hex today, he couldn't, because it's set in the Ethereum blockchain. He couldn't stop it. That's why there's going to be double Hex, because you're going to have the one on Ethereum and you're going to have the one on Pulse. They can't stop the one on Ethereum because it's unstoppable. It's just like Bitcoin, where it's unstoppable. Although you could stop it with the miners. If the miners, didn't, they were like, oh, we want to roll back the chain, which it has twice, then they could. But Hex is actually unstoppable. You can't stop it. So it is actual DeFi. There's no admin keys. There's nothing that can stop it. It's actual real DeFi.
Yeah. No, I mean, I got to say for sure, it's definitely what started. I mean, in this bull run, it's what started this bull run for me. You know what I mean? Like, because I started with very nothing, and like all of a sudden, like I was playing because of Hex. Like,
Yeah.
So, and of course, you got to say, we probably should say this episode. We don't always say this, but this is definitely not financial advice. This is only idiot advice. If you follow anything we say, you're an idiot. So that's my disclaimer for
we do the tie here. No financial advice with the tie.
Exactly. Fashion advice only. That's all we're doing here is fashion advice.
Right,
fashion advice.
We're aficionados.
God, and I forgot to say this at the top of the show. I'm terrible at it, but go ahead and smash the like button. If you're new, please subscribe to our channel. If you want to know about Upland and NFTs and metaverses, this is the place for it. We do cover lots of art. We bring musicians on the show. Sometimes it gets a little bit wild around here, but Hexologist, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and coming in here and sharing your knowledge about Hex and Pulse. Yeah, it was awesome. It'd be awesome to bring you back on the show again and make you become an Uplander. Maybe I got to give you one of my properties or something, get you into the world, and see how you feel about it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll run you through it.
Yeah, so, I echo that, man. Hexo, thank you so much for stopping by. We gotta have you back on and catch up once Pulse is out in the world and the biggest airdrop in history has released. This is one for the books here, people. That's for sure. And I just say, if you are interested, make sure you're looking at the verified accounts and in the right places, because there's going to be a lot. I mean, I've already seen a lot of scammers popping up lately, so just make sure you're doing everything you need to do to make sure you're at the right place and getting the right info for the sacrifice and everything about Pulse and Hex.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
all right,
very
cool.
excited.
We'll be back in, let's see, it's almost 11 now, 12. Well, with 2 hours, we'll be back with our regularly scheduled program. And we have the NFT museum coming in today with a new artist. So, from Peru, I believe. So, all right. Have a great day, Hexologists. I'll talk to you in a little bit. We'll see everybody in a couple hours. Good morning, good noon, and good night.
Big ups to Hexo.
In the house.
That was awesome.
That feels right.
dropping history, folks. ERC 20s. Copied over to the Pulse Chain. Sacrifice. Big up to the chat house.
Oh yeah, like and subscribe.